Hey everyone, what I got here is a Hunter original from 1984 in matte black. Got this fan back in 2021 off of eBay for about 250 bucks. I got this fan mainly because after my first black original was a flop, because it was a scam pretty much from Mercari, I wanted another one. I already had my silver one at the time and I was like, you know what, I want a black one again, so I got this. This fan looks very different now than how it used to. The blades had the wrong mounting hardware. It was for a newer original because they put in the grommets with the longer screws. The screws that actually attached to the motor were wrong. And overall the blade arms were just bent and warped a little bit, so I had to fix those up. Also, the bottom faceplate is not original to when I bought this. This came off of the one that failed. Because the one that came with this was actually sticking out the sides a little bit, and it just irked my OCD, so I put this thing on. Now, what also irks my OCD is that the blacks don't match, but that's fine. This is less noticeable than the very, much bigger bottom plate. I also don't think that this fan was originally black. I'm pretty sure it was brown, and this is the reason why. Inside the canopy is also kind of brown, and on top of the blade arms are brown. Pretty sure this is an actual black switch housing though, and an actual brown or black down rod. But this might have been a restoration project for a guy and he just wanted to resell it, which honestly it's fine, it looks great now. I got this ball pull chain on there that I really seem to like. It kind of just overall is classic. And it says USA here on the connector for the pull chain, which I think is pretty cool. It's all around a USA fan. The blades on here are cherry. I don't know if that's the official name, but that's what it looks like, because it's definitely not the walnut or the oak. And it didn't look this red on the listing, and it definitely doesn't look as red in the video, but it's, I would call it like a burnt orange. That's what it looks like. So I forgot to mention, here are the new screws that I bought off of eBay as well. Kind of fits the vibe more. And then here's the top screws that I bought. And I put some washers on there too, since the screws that I actually bought were a tiny bit too small, but they were better than what was there. Also, I did something that I feel like you really shouldn't do. The windings had black paint all over it, and I kind of stripped that with, I hate to say it, but a knife. I kind of just went across it, but it still works, so I think it's fine, but I will never do that again in the future. But I guess I was just so excited. I was like, hey, everybody else's windings are green and copper. Why aren't mine? Probably because the earlier originals from the 80s were like this. Pretty sure this is also a 1.9 amp motor. This is the first year that they switched over to the permanent split capacitor motors and has the 3 speeds. This is also a reversible original. There's the reverse switch. It's actually on top instead of in the switch housing, which I find pretty cool. That's all I got really to say about this guy. So without further ado, let's go into the demo. All right, before I close out the video, I just want to give my overall thoughts on this guy. Personal opinion, don't really love how red the blades are. I said that before though, but the one thing I do love is how it's actually wood as opposed to the stacked plywood or the paper veneer blades. So these things will last forever, and I haven't seemed to have any cracking in the middle here like what you see typically on these older originals. One thing I also really love about this is actually how the reverse switch is on top. Kind of wish they kept that. It makes it a cleaner look on the switch housing. One gripe about this though, I guess, is I hate how fast the medium is. Like high, of course, go turbo mode. But medium, it's not that much slower. Low is great. I love the low. Nice aesthetic low. Let me go up to high though, but this is also why I got this wall control that you've seen from the Brown original video, because it just gives it a perfect medium that I wish it had. I also don't know how to switch out the capacitors or change the values or anything. So if anybody does know, shoot me a comment or an email or something. See, I find that to be a perfect medium. Not too fast, not too slow, and it moves a decent amount of air where you can feel it. So then it's like if you're really dying of heat, then just go to high. And low on the wall control is the same as it is on the pull chain. But yeah, there you have it. Hunter Original 1984 in matte black. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.